if you are trying, you will fail. And that's good because to succeed, you need to try a lot. And if you are trying, you will fail. Really, failure is the mark of a life well lived and fully expressed. To avoid failure is to be of no use. It is to accept the perceived limitations of now, perceive everything that you're capable of based upon the oppression of years of conditioning. And we all got it, okay? We all have the conditioning that makes it scary to put your voice out there. But I'm telling you, if you can just accept that being cringe is your gateway to freedom, then you will tap into the fullness of a life in its most glorious, authentic expression. Yeah? Do it for us. Do it for you, and do it for sentience. And if you're not satisfied with where life is right now, assess your goals, because they might be too small. If your goals don't genuinely make your heart race, then you are denying yourself the generative fuel of inspiration and misjudging your capacity. When it comes to how you envision your life, it is very easy to slip into the narrowed parameters of perception that come when we've tolerated shit for too long enough to where we think that that's what life is and that's all life holds. But manifestation begins with perception. When we open up our perception, we literally open up to possibility. And then we try and we engage with remarkable action. If you are setting small goals because you've been told to be realistic, that we have to make sure that they are realistic and attainable before you establish a goal, based upon what? Based upon what reality, what perception of reality? Attainable by who? The average? The median? Because all it takes to transcend average is to put above average action with above average thinking. But you are capable of extraordinary thinking and extraordinary action. And so much of what I discuss on this podcast is chilling out, right? Taking a deep breath, working on the nervous system, discovering the abiding sense of peace that rests just under the cacophony of mental chatter and stimuli we experience on a moment-to-moment basis. All of these things, yes. Mindful ambition, right? Empowered ambition. The invocation of your most effective, resilient, driven, devoted self, and allowing that self to be a vehicle of change for you and the world by thinking bigger and doing more. So often we get tired of the doing because we've been doing the same thing for too long, right? We haven't pushed the needle far enough to where we enter a new zone of challenges and problems. I personally get bored of problems quickly, and that sometimes is the driver of massive action. All right, give me a new set of challenges, a new set of things to think about and respond to. If I have been responding to the same problems over and over again, I haven't tried enough. Maybe I've been trying, but that trying has only been enough to maintain those problems, right? Like I got my toe in the game, but I'm not fully in. But when I lean in by first thinking bigger so that I recruit greater cognitive resources, greater energetic resources, greater perceptive resources, when I think bigger, it's easier to take massive action because now I'm mentally, cognitively, spiritually, emotionally, and physically prepared for a greater endeavor. Like if I am thinking about going on a 2-mile walk, my resource recruitment is going to be entirely different than if I was going on a 20-mile walk. 2 miles, I'm not going to wear shoes. I'm not going to bring snacks and water. Probably won't bring my camera to capture the journey. I'm not super focused on getting the best night's sleep the night before or eating a big nutritious breakfast so I can go walk 2 miles. But if I'm walking 20, immediately, just knowing the horizon of that goal is going to expand the horizon of my perception. I open up to possibility. If I expand my thinking, that field of consciousness that connects and unifies and displays information to us expands. We create the space where the next steps reveal themselves. And then we act. And I will say that a lot of my stagnancy has come from not doing in alignment with grand, seemingly unrealistic goals. Because the remembrance of your vision, it needs to be a continual thing, right? Because it's not easy to develop and foster, cultivate success in your life. It's not easy. Neither is a lack of success, might I say. Like life is difficult, but we get to choose our difficulty. I, for a while, have been putting in a lot of the effort, but when you experience the felt sensation of, scarcity in life, and you base your potential, your capacity, your vision upon your immediate circumstances, what happens is that your recruitment of resources draws in. So I'm only grabbing resources from within arm's length, as opposed to what could be there that will support me. And first, it's always me. Only I can support me by first allowing myself to think bigger. I want my goals to shock me. Not because I put a marker of self-worth and validation as a being on this earth upon those goals, but because I enjoy excellence. I enjoy the satisfaction of contributing to my life's work. And it is a life's work. Thinking big like that. What is my life's work? What would I do if I could do anything? What would I be? How does that self speak? How do they stand? How do they respond to challenge and discomfort? How do they wake up in the morning? And how do they immediately begin perceiving the world? Because that's the trick, is that we don't want things, we want feelings. You feel your way into massive potential, and you become that which you are during the doing of those things that self has. And we come at it from a place of being, not having. We don't want things, we want feelings. We want to feel a certain way. So how would you feel if you could make your greatest impact? How would you feel if all your needs were taken care of because what you needed was that version of you? How would you feel to move with purpose, energy in motion? How do you want to feel? How do you want to feel? Ask yourself that question. And then think about 5 goals that stem from that feeling. And don't think small here. Don't be humble with this. Humility should be a natural side effect of the failure that comes from consistent trying. And consistent failure is only a problem if you think it is. Otherwise, it is quite literally the foundation of moving and growing in life. So that evolution occurs through adaptation. And adaptation isn't a 1 + 1 = 2. It is a network effect of everything you do and are. So I want you to think about 5 big visions and see if there's any underlying themes to these visions, how they come together. Or maybe they feel quite diverse and seemingly unrelated. Maybe if you are surrounded by people who would scoff at a big vision, then shut the fuck up about it and keep it in here. I mean that with love. If you want to say it to people who support and resonate and are excited by your vision, your creativity, your unique way of distilling and contributing to the world, come into the TMBH community. Link is in the description below. We have weekly events every week and talk all about this kind of stuff. And I tell you, the generative effects of being in a community that are cognizant of co-creation. Come on, dude. I love consciousness. I really do. So I want you to think about how you want to feel. I want you to think about the grandest of visions. I want you to really open up to how those visions make you feel, because inspiration is generative fuel of perception. You become inspired by something. You literally inspire. Breathing is inspiring. So when something makes your heart race and it takes your breath away and you inspire, tune into that feeling. Allow it to take you further and further and further into an expansive mode of thinking, an expansive mode of being. Because when you are perceiving through inspiration, every time you breathe, you extend and expand. You become this great space in which the whole universe could occur. And then I would like you to ask yourself, what would it look like if I went all in? If I recognized and realized that I have no shortage of energy, I have no shortage of action, that whatever I invest, contribute, and offer to the world, I receive in resonance, in multiplication. Who am I? I am the one that chooses. And I choose this life of inspiration because inspiration is an intuitive pull in the direction of my greatest experience. And I will tell you right now, nobody that inspires you would ever tell you to set reasonable, realistic goals, because at some point they were told that and they said no. Because a realistic goal is a beautiful dream of consciousness that gets sucked out and swallowed by the meat grinder of convention, coming out on the other side looking the same as everything else. Average. We do this because it feels good. We do it because you have been gifted with the unfathomable ability to pull the ethereal energy of a thought from the cognitive realm into physicality. That in itself is extraordinary. Why would you limit that? What makes you think that you're in any place to limit that? Because that process is what you are. You literally are a walking manifestive generator. It begins with perception. With greater perception, we open up to possibility. That recruits inspiration and motivation and energy that we can then transmute into action. This is a generative feedback loop that will, if you continue and are diligent and devoted and disciplined to your success as duty, obligation, responsibility, then I tell you, I'm excited for you. I'm right there with you. All right? Yeah. I am right there with you. It won't be easy, but we can do hard things. The more you help the world, the more the world will help you. So be where you are and let them know you're here. I think that is all for today. If you enjoyed today's podcast, please leave a review, share it with your friends. And if you didn't enjoy today's podcast, then just keep your mouth shut.